Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. It's March 20th. And welcome to my coffee and vinyl chat. Cheers, everybody. Hey, Jerry Stone. I got my Bob Marley mug. I love cold brew, so I got some cold brew going on. Happy Friday. Yeah, so I trust everyone's doing well and cool things like that. What's your soundtrack for Corona crisis? What's your soundtrack? I know I've been playing a lot of music as well as discovering music as well as listening to music. I have no idea what it sounds like and playing records in that respect. And so, yeah, that's been great. Folks, my car is covered with pollen. What's with the pick? I don't know. Tell me, Phil, what pick are you talking about? Describe it, please. So my car is covered with pollen. My nose is running because of pollen. And so, scary. Oh no, is this pollen? Is this allergies? But everything's good. Let's see, I gotta figure out this image Phil's talking about. Oh boy. Positive vibes? Yeah. Is that it? Bonjour. Bonjour. Mike, how are you? Gotta put this on hold. There we go. Pause. Hold. Yeah, all that cool stuff like that. Did I do my pop-out chat? Here's my pop-out chat. Yeah, so there we go. Positives. Mine too. Yeah. We also had some rain, and so the entry, that's a lot of rain, Mike. What's going on there? Mike said day 38 out of 40 of just rain. Good morning, Michael Gwen. How are you? So we had rain the other night, and so as you get to, there's a sidewalk that comes down, and then there's steps that comes to the crate, and so the pollen washed around, and it went over the steps like this, and it's like yellow green blood running or something like that. Yeah. Is it just? Are you guys being cursed? It's just like hanging over your overhead there, huh? We had beautiful sunshine yesterday. I stopped by. Well, hey, 2 to 3 hours is a big plus if you've been sunless. Stopped by Lidl, Lidl, and people were nice. It was cool to talk to people. Went to the record crate, but one thing I've noticed that for whatever reason, alerts just aren't happening with everybody. Alerts of people going live on YouTube, alerts of people posting videos on YouTube. Yeah. Hey, Derek, good morning. How are you? Hope you have some coffee and you're enjoying your vinyl also. I don't know, Mike, but I understand that a lot of people are experiencing some internet lagging, if you will, as well as a lot of people are online. A lot of people are doing it. They're doing it on the internet, and so with schools and colleges doing a lot of online classes, and so there you go. Yeah. I think the internet is overloaded with so many people at home during this crisis. I think you're right, Jerry. And so, but what I'm saying is that what I was saying, notifications, YouTube notifications. People are telling me they're not getting notifications of me going live. People are telling me they're not getting notifications of me posting a video. And same here. I missed Paul's notification. By the way, Paul does a weekly morning show at 9 a.m. Paul Santatelli. And so I like watching that, so I look forward to that. You dropped out and came back in. The picture's correct. Does that mean I look better than ever? Or did you see some distortedness from me? So anyway, these internet providers can't keep up with the demand. It's true. Yeah. It's 8 a.m. Central Time. Mike, I think you're an hour behind me, and it's 8 a.m. here. I was thinking you were an hour behind me. Phil, the auctions have been going well. I've been doing some buy it nows where I've been discounting some records. Been doing some visual shopping. Take out the phone, give me a FaceTime call, give me a Skype call, and I'll just walk around. People can shop that way. I've been shipping stuff, which has been great. Right. Paul is on 8 a.m. Central. Paul lives on the East Coast, and I'm on the East Coast. And Paul is 9 a.m. on the East Coast. So, yeah, Paul will be with us in 54 minutes. Yeah. Paul won't be with me, but he'll be on live. And so they've been going well, Phil. Every little bit helps during this crisis. Yesterday, I listened to this a lot. Giorgio Moroder did the soundtrack for Midnight Express. I haven't seen the movie, but I enjoy the soundtrack. I miss the East Coast like you wouldn't believe. But I like Giorgio Moroder. I think I basically identified Giorgio Moroder with Donna Summer, and then I learned that he had his own stuff and picked up some stuff here and there. So that's really cool. What have you guys been listening to? What's been your soundtrack for this crisis? And Mick, you're on my list to get you an invoice out today. I can just, yeah. I got some. So I've been enjoying this Giorgio Moroder, and I picked up a sealed copy of Blue Velvet right there, but I haven't opened it. I won't open it either. I like listening to Angelo Bartom. I don't know. I can't remember the name. Yeah, I saw online that we may be entrenched in this social distraction thing for a year. I don't even want to talk about all those crazy predictions. Oh, it's funny, Derek, because I've been listening to some Joni Mitchell too. And I've been pulling some stuff. Absolutely. I just know that I have to take it day by day, and here we are now. David Lynch. I like watching some David Lynch stuff, but for me, it's cool. I enjoyed Blue Velvet and some of his other stuff, but it's the music sometimes that attracts me more than the narrative. Yeah, I've been listening to some Huey Lewis and the News sports album and some Paul Davis, Cool Night, and Genesis. I like that Genesis. I love the Mellotron. I watched an interview on Canadian. So it was on YouTube, but it was a Canadian television interview with Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell as a senior is not holding back at all. And so there you go. And yes, and I enjoy listening to the Joni Mitchell with Jaco Pastorius. Yeah, Hera is very good too. I enjoy Joni Mitchell's music and I enjoy her songs. she's sometimes like Dylan. I enjoy listening to other people do her music or his music better than him. Oh wow, James Byers is here. So there we go. I could listen to Joni anytime. Absolutely. Nursery Crime is one of the best. James Byers, I hope you're having tea. Tea and vinyl for you this morning. I got some Bob Marley in my Bob Marley mug. Okay. Yeah. Coyote. Yeah. Dr. Jimmy and Mr. Jim. Oh wow. Well, cool. I just got an invoice paid, so I can do that. Derek. So Derek works with our great city, and he does wonderful things. He's welcome to share with you what he does if you like. He's not the mayor, but I think his job is more important than the mayor. So how have things been with you? I'm sure you've been doing some work from home and online, and yeah, I thought about you during this crisis, Derek, and there we go. Also, it's interesting to see images of downtown Raleigh, and I've been, like downtown proper, like Fayetteville Street, and I've been down there in Wake Forest, and it feels like it's Thanksgiving Day and you're the only one out. So yeah, before everybody gets stir crazy, and it doesn't take people long to get stir crazy on a Thanksgiving Day. And so I got a feeling I might have some people come in today and tomorrow into the shop that are getting a little stir crazy. But we're still being as careful as we can and wiping down as many things as we can. Dr. Jimmy, you just made a cup of tea. Congratulations, Quadrophenia. There you go. Oh, that's a good soundtrack. Yes, good morning, Alan C. That was you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Get that out today. And we're doing very well with the fact that, of course, I haven't had FedEx and UPS come in lately because I haven't placed any orders, but I understand that they're still running. And so far, the Postal Service is hanging out there. I have a really good postal carrier. His days off, I can tell, but I have a really good Postal Service guy, and I feel for him going into so many different places and touching so many different things. So I'm hoping he's going on. All right, here we go. Fun trivia. One of Joni Mitchell's songs from the 70s features Cheech and Chong. All right, folks, if anybody knows that answer, chime in. Mike is going to give you a $100 bill today. Well, I don't know about that. Been working from home for sure. There you go. I love seeing the Raleigh skyline at night when it's dark. I do too. Really cool seeing the tall buildings lit up at night. So on Boylan Avenue, we have the Boylan Brew Pub. I can't remember the new name, but it's one of the most popular places to go at nighttime and see the skyline. And even during the daytime, it's a wonderful place. But it's also, you can pass by there most any time, and there's somebody out there with a camera doing photography, whether it's their fancy phone they carry in their pocket or it's a DSLR. And yeah, we are. If I wanted to, I could read different predicted how long this will last, and it's ridiculous. So I'm sorry, it's not ridiculous. The crisis isn't ridiculous. It's ridiculous that so many people are chiming in and, oh, it's going to last this long. And I'm like, there's nothing we can do. You're so welcome, Alan. I wish I had a whole bunch more of those calendars. It was a program. It was a promo we did with Rhino Records. And hey, it's something you can use all year long, and it's got some wonderful images. But Passing them on. There you go. Nashville looks really cool. I bet it does. ATT Batman building. Yeah, absolutely. Agree, Jerry. Oh yeah. Talking about the Raleigh skyline. Twisted. Is that the right answer, Mike? Is it twisted? It's cow. Yeah. And we have that wonderful building in Winston Salem. It's has many nicknames. I almost said what it's called, but we have many wonderful nicknames for that building in Winston Salem. I think it's called what's the real name of that? You guys can Google it if you like. Um, Derek, you might be able to help me out here. What's it? Is it the Reynolds Building? No. Anyway, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm just going to announce ahead of time on social media, just in case the YouTube notifications aren't coming in. Have a good day. Some of our tube stations are being closed for the time being. Not London without underground. It is. James, what's a tube station? Is that a mass transit? Speaking of Winston-Salem, is tobacco still part of agriculture in North? It is. It is. It is. I'm trying to explain what the difference is now with tobacco. I guess it's the differences in harvesting and curing and selling. I grew up on a farm, so it was nothing to go and yeah, I know what it's like. The London Underground, we call it the tube. So okay, so the tube. Let's go back up. Some of our tube stations are being closed for the time being. Yeah. So here's a funny thing. I was in Wake Forest last night. In front of the shop, the way the buildings were built and the streets are, so there's a distance. So in front of my shop, it's elevated and they put ramps and steps. So if you go walking down the sidewalk, you have to, at one point, you have to go down like five steps. Darn, this is hard to look at. And then another part, there's a ramp. And so it's just kind of strange. Maybe I should take an image one day and show it to you guys. But there's a railing there. And someone walked by and they sneezed. Then the next thing I knew, they leaned on the railing. They sneezed in their hands, which that's what I was told as a child. Sneeze in your hand, that way you're not sneezing all over everybody. But now we sneeze in our elbow and our armpit. So after they walked away, I took my cloth with Lysol disinfectant and I went out there and I wiped down the railing. And I don't know why I did it. We're reacting in so many different ways. I remember the 60s and 70s magazines, Mad magazines, had all of those great anti-smoking. I remember in the 60s and 70s, Mad magazine had all those great anti-smoking ads. I miss those days. Well, Alan C., you're here with us. What's been your soundtrack for the CV crisis? Cheers. I'm gonna sit here and get wired with caffeine. I did dilute it though. I dilute my coffee now. I don't do caffeine very well anymore. About a year ago, I drank some caffeine and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. And I just realized I had a caffeine overdose. And so that was kind of neat, kind of interesting, kind of bad. Yeah. Phil, are you out and about in the field? I know that Phil handles a lot of very cool things. He's responsible for a lot of things out there, coordinating things and overseeing things and directing people. Are you out in the field, field, Phil, or are you able to conduct things from behind the desk or behind the computer or at the luxury of your home? I got some good books to read to keep. Yeah. I am thinking about how I can use my time now, even more than ever. Um, I've been listing on eBay. I've been trying to do these live auctions as well as live buy it nows. Um, yes, James, he did. So if you watched the buy it now session from last night in Wake Forest, which I didn't have very many views, I didn't have very many people there, and I think it was because the notifications just weren't reaching people, or people were in overload, or people were out. I have no idea. Um, the kid came in last night. He bought one of the Beatles records that I put out for the buy it now, and then he bought some dollar stuff. Apparently, he lives in Maryland, and so he's one of three children, and his mother's expecting another child. Um, his father's originally from this area, so when the crisis and when his son got out of school, and I don't know, was he 12 maybe? Um, he did buy an Elvis record. I think he bought an Elvis record for like $4, and the Beatles record for like 13, so that's 17, and $3 records. And so anyway, the father and the mother and the family just came down to hang out with their family in Wake Forest. So it was father, son, and grandson at the crate last night, and that was really neat. So yeah, he did buy some stuff, which was really cool. But he was funny. It was funny. Um, yeah, it is quite a bit of a drive, but hey, if it's the end of the life, you might as well spend it with your family. And I don't know if she's going to have. I don't know how far along his mother is with the baby. Um, I don't know if they came down to have the baby here or what. I don't know. So I didn't. I just got a little bit of information there. But yeah, he was cool. He was very active. He was looking. I mean, he wasn't hyper, but he was like, I got to check this out. He was walking around looking, and he was flipping. He was looking through all the bins, and he looked at a lot of stuff. And so at the counter, I have a crate full of free records. Sometimes if they're not, I could put them in the dollar bin, but I just put them at the counter just to give them away. So you may have one free record, if you buy records. And a local label sent over a crate and a half of new pressings that they did, and they said, "Hey, you can have these, give them away." And it's been great. I've been giving them away. And so there were some new pressings. There was 2 new records and 1 new CD in there. And I said, "You may have one record from there." And he went, and I was like, "You're flipping right over the new ones." He says, "Well, I don't know them." And I was like, what better way to get to know a band with a free record? Nah. And so that was so cool. Yeah. One day the sun will come out. All things must pass. We're going to say, remember when I got the softest hands, folks. I think if I were to practice guitar, my fingers would hurt, because one thing, I haven't got my calluses for playing guitar, and the other thing is I've washed my hands so many times. I've always been a hand washer, but now it's even more. Yeah. James, are you free to come on screen with me and talk? I know one day the sun. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Jerry, I don't think you're a coffee drinker. What do you drink in the morning time? Are you I don't know. I don't think I've ever asked. I think you said you're not a coffee drinker though, which is fine. Um, got blisters on my fingers, man. I hear a bird. Oh, it was so good to hear the birds yesterday. I opened up the door here in Raleigh, and of course in Wake Forest. One thing, the weather's nice. Um, Dr. Ginger Ale. Dr. Ginger Ale. Diet ginger ale. Yes, DT. No, it's doctor. What is it? Hold on a second. DT. Diet ginger ale. Diet. Thank you, Jerry. You know me with my vision. uh, oh yeah, ginger ale it is. Cheers. It's cold. There you go. Well, I don't like to have the doors open because of dust comes in and can get on the records, especially now with pollen. But I'm making an exception, folks. Oh, I got to wash a lot of records today. I'm making an exception because one thing, you don't have to touch the door handle even coming in and going out, and the other thing, so good to hear the birds singing and to see them fly around. That was really neat. And then in Wake Forest, because the way it's set up, it's a store that I have to have the doors open when the weather's nice. Yeah, it's just kind of like going to New York City. I understand that even in the wintertime, even in the summertime, they keep the doors open on certain parts of that. Hey, here's Dangerous Dan T. How are you doing, Dangerous Dan? Dangerous Dan messaged me and some of the things that were in the auction the other night. He says, "You know what? I want that." And then Terry, also another customer who lives in Raleigh. Terry lives in Raleigh. Uh, he messaged me also. This is a mug that one of my customers gave me. So it's Bob Marley, and it says 420, and it's a red stripe. April 20th, 2006. So I don't know. It's some promotion. Anyway, I got it. I'm gonna enjoy it as long as I have it. My House of Blues, I put some soy milk in it the other day, and I was just walking around drinking it, and the bottom, it was almost perfect. It went just, the bottom just went, and the bottom fell down. I was holding this, and, and all of my soy milk was on the floor, and I was like, "What has just happened?" And I was thinking, did I squeeze too hard? Did I just break it? But it wasn't that. Um, okay, James, I'm gonna send you a link in just a second. And so, but the bottom part was like this thick, and so that was kind of strange. 420 is code for something. Ganja man. Yeah, I don't know the origins of 420, but it's always a time. I think before we had cool things like legal, municipal, medicinal. Uh, it did kind of look like Hendrix. I think that there was a time that it was kind of a code name. We can get high or something or smoke together, and also understand that 420. Let's do it 420 before we get off work at 5 o'clock. Heard things like that, and also read other things like, didn't someone die on April 20th, and didn't Hitler get the story goes Hitler killed himself. Yeah. I think that's a wonderful thing. One thing I like is CBD, and I used to sell these, but Hitler was born on 420. Thank you, Michael. Mile marker for McDopers. Yeah. Hello, Michael Elliott. It's good to see you. Yeah, we're doing coffee and vinyl. What's on your soundtrack, Michael? Oops. I can see your brain, Michael. What's on your soundtrack? So CBD I like to take. I don't care anything about getting high. Yeah. Of course, Michael, I'm sure you're all about this record right here I've been playing. I'll grab it for you and show you. Take this off right here. Giorgio Moroder provided the music for the soundtrack of Midnight Express, and it's so good. Chaplin was born the same way. Michael, you're more than welcome to join us here and get on the screen and say hi. Um, Michael, I hope you're doing really well through the crisis. I kind of don't like the word hope, but I haven't. Um, what's the soundtrack for your CV crisis? What are you playing? What is your soundtrack as you go through the crisis? What records are you spinning? What are you playing? What are you listening to? Um, CBD does nothing for me. Oh, part of the problem is it cannot contain the active ingredient or not. It's not regulated. Okay. Yeah, I've heard some people say that they like CBD, and I've heard some people say no. Uh, oh, that'd be great, Michael. Jerry, would you like to join? I would ask Mike, but I understand that you have problems when you join, and with your phone, the audio and all that stuff's kind of messed up on you. So anyway, um, yes, absolutely. I've always thought of myself as a hard worker. Even when I wasn't working, I always thought of myself as a hard worker, working on art, working on ideas, working on plans for other things. I always thought I was a hard worker with Record Crate, just working these hours, pricing these records, processing these records, social media. When the crisis when the crisis began, and I noticed people weren't coming into the shop as much, I became a different hard worker. And I don't want to say reinventing myself, but doing what I can to reach out in a different way uh, to bring in income so that I can keep food on the table for the family and keep the doors open. And yeah, so there we go. So I've been working hard, folks. Uh, oh, I actually turned off my news notifications yesterday on my iPhone. I was just getting so many news notifications, and so much of them were about CV. And so I'm like, I'm just going to the CDC website. I'm going to the Wake County Health Department website. I'm going to the state of North Carolina website. There's a lot of good Androids. I would love to have me an expensive Android. I love to have an Android that's $1,100, similar to this right here, because I felt like I've never had an opportunity to get to know Android. And so, yeah. Um, so with that said, I've been listing things on eBay like crazy, and hoping soon to get some stuff there. Yeah. Oh yeah, but what else have I been playing? Well, I've been driving the Roadster lately, and the cassette player quit working on it, and the CD player's not working on it. So now I'm just either listening to streaming audio. I have these right here, folks. I bought these before the crisis. These are made by Aftershocks, and it's called the Aeroplex. And so it's bone. This goes against your bone, and you hear the audio and the music there. You hear the narrative and the music there, and it rests right here, and it's wonderful. Oh, I bet you got it through a phone plan. Yeah. I don't know, Mike. I wish I could help you there. I just don't know Androids very well at all. Yeah. I would love to get a Kindle sometimes, just because you're away from the iPad, you're away from your iPhone, and it's devoted to reading. And I would like to have that. I read a lot anyway. Um, what else was I saying? Yeah. So I've been listening to a lot of music um, while I'm driving via this way, and yesterday was wonderful. And driving to Wake Forest with the top back. You know, Mike, I'm the same way. You know, I don't mind the headphones like that. There's only a few that will fit in my ear properly that are wired. I bought a pair of AirPods one time. They work wonderfully. They sound great. They may even sound better than these, but I was constantly pushing them back in. I like that you can take one out and the other one keeps working. You add another one, it starts working automatically, and they just work great with the Android, with the Apple devices, and I loved it. But when the one fell out of my ear and fell into the toilet, I was like, "That's it, that's it." Oh, I got tagged in a post, folks, and so there we go. I was also watching a streaming channel this morning that I haven't canceled yet, that I'll be canceling soon. And not to endorse Chipotle. I love that restaurant, Chipotle. I feel bad that they've had some problems in the past with some food issues. My ears are too small, Mike, the little part. They were advertising. They just did this wonderful advertisement. It was so well thought out, so well presented. And it gave me encouragement to put together a little promo today for myself and maybe put it on the channels. But they're saying, hey, blah, blah, blah. And they were showing their products and this and that, mouth watering, tacos, burritos, whatever they have, bowls, chips, salsa. And they were saying, we offer free delivery, free delivery, free delivery. And it was just like, it was great. And it was so positive and so upbeat. And I'm like, I want to order a Chipotle, get the free delivery. And of course, I realized there's a you tip, which is great. But I occasionally treat myself to Chipotle. My ears are sensitive to. Then you can never be a little picture. I missed that. Hey, good morning, Tom. How are you? So, are we? Wow. Hey, good morning, Tom. How are you? You're on your. I'm gonna start working on washing records soon, and then I'll be packing up stuff and getting it out. So yeah, there you go. I missed this one, Mike. Then you could never be a little picture. Anyway, I missed that one, Michael. Mike, there we go. Yeah. Jerry, how are you doing? Staying working from home? Are you getting cabin fever? I know that when I've been driving to Wake Forest, I left there. Little pictures have big ears. Oh, this part's totally big. This is totally big, but this part is very small. This part's very big. So there you go. When I drove to Wake Forest, I left here around 4:30. It was like driving up there on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So there we go. Tom, you're more than welcome to join me. I'm going to be here until 9 o'clock, and you're more than welcome to hop on the screen with us. Waiting for James Byers and waiting for Michael Elliott. I guess they're brushing their hair and putting on their makeup. I have no idea what's going on with those guys. But yeah, I'm going to stay here until 9 o'clock. Tom, did you going back to bed? Tom, I'm sure you saw it. Beetle Brad put up a video of the new dates for the Fest for Beatles only. The Fest for Beatles fans. Yeah. Take care, Mike. I'll be glad to. I was planning on doing that this morning for you. Absolutely. Well, enjoy your day, Mike. Look forward to talking to you next time. Hey, speak of the guy who just brushed his hair and put on his makeup. It's not Courtney Love, but it's Michael Elliott.
I come
and hold on a second.
walking down the street.
Okay, how are you?
I get the funniest looks from
Just one moment
What I need.
as I turn this other stream off.
Mhm.
No, that was you. Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, good morning. How are you, sir?
How are you, Adam? It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
Good to see you.
Yeah, the last time you did the coffee thing, I was like, oh man, I hope he opens it up to people because I wanted to jump on back then. So I'm glad you did it this morning. Good to see you again, my friend.
Hey, good to see you. Oh, so Tom didn't know the new dates. Very cool, Tom. Yeah, that was the first I heard when Brad put up a video this morning. Beetle Brad. Yeah. Wonderful. What's your soundtrack for the crisis, Michael?
Yeah, well, actually, this has been a great time for me because I've been able to actually work on my own music and I've been doing some final mastering of something I've been telling you guys I wanted to get out, and then I finally got the copyright into the Library of Congress. So everything's going full steam ahead on that. But yeah, I've been listening to some of my CD collection in '90s early obscure electronic music, things like Boards of Canada, stuff like that. And then
Oh,
I discovered a new artist that actually has been around since the late '80s, early '90s that I had never heard of, and his stuff is awesome. His name is Treson Tessib, and he's an electronic music artist out of the UK. Never heard of the guy ever, and stumbled onto something that he came out with. I said this was back in the '90s. I was like, wow, I really like this. So
yeah,
yeah, I
cool.
started following that guy around. So yeah, I love discovering not necessarily new artists, but sometimes artists who've been around for years that I never knew existed. Oh, it's great.
That's a weekly occurrence for me. And sometimes I have to be careful not to play something. I'm like, well, what if I like it?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I know. What do they say? Don't get high on your own supply.
Oh, I guess that would be the case. But
It would be apropos to Vital as well.
yeah, but I do listen to a lot of stuff I'm not familiar with, so I can communicate with my
Oh,
customers.
yeah, absolutely. Well, you had 2 things in your auction yesterday that I was like, "Oh my goodness." Don, Mark, and Mel,
Yes, that was in Wake Forest. Great.
unbelievable album by one of the best rock bands of the '70s, Grand Funk Railroad, who actually came out of Flint, Michigan, believe it or not.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then the other one you had was, in my opinion, one of the most underrated, but, probably my favorite Rush album, Grace Under Pressure. Whew,
I
what
love Synthesizer Rush.
oh, that is a
Man,
phenomenal
man.
piece of work, yeah.
And wonderful record. But when they played live, I don't know if they had tracks with them or not, but that's, they were good live. With
Well, if they did, I don't know exactly when they started doing that, but I mean, I've every time I've ever seen them, even playing live via video, this is just something you can tell when people are really sincere and they're really playing their instruments. And these guys were true, true craftsmen of their instruments.
exactly, and but the fact that Eddie Geddy Lee could still play his bass,
Hmm.
um, tell his keyboard, let's do some arpeggios, let's do some portamento, and to work the Taurus pedals with his feet, while
Yeah.
Alex was layering all these wonderful textures, and their sound was just huge.
And then, of
Now,
course,
here's so much for
Neil Peart. I mean,
yeah, yeah. I just don't care so much for their proggy mathy stuff, but when they got into the synthesizers and some of their early stuff, there's a song or two where they do bring in more of this analog synthesizer and the Taurus
yeah.
pedals. Really cool. Good morning, James. How are you?
Mr.
Hello,
Byers,
Michael, everybody.
my friend from the UK. So good to see you, sir.
You too, my friend. You're looking
this is
good.
really turning
Cheers.
out to be just a glorious morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I messaged Richard and I said, Richard, I would really love for you to be here this morning for coffee and vinyl.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see Richard. Oh, hey, I meant to say, hey, nice guy, Mike, how you doing? He said hi to me, so I meant to say something.
He says it's too early for him. He said, well, I would really love for you to be here. So there we go.
Is that what he said recently? Well, who knows? He might pop up.
Oh, it'd be nice, but I think he probably just popped into bed.
Oh, that's right. He does. I think he told me he stays up till like 4 a.m. That is so weird. But hey, listen, a lot of artists create at 4 a.m. I actually do most of my creative work right now. Like when I wake up and I do all of my normal and if I'm not out in the field and I'm doing my own business, working my own business, I'm usually here, with the stuff fired up and
Sure.
working. Yeah. I love mornings for that. I'm very creative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, you're looking good.
Thank you, sir. And you are as well. How are you doing with because I'm feeling the brunt of what's going on because I also gig as well. So gigs are shut down for me as well as my small business. I've lost a good 50% of that, and that may not come back the rest of the year because a lot of that business was in hospitals and nursing homes because I sell holistic product.
No, cool. Yeah.
So they may not reopen that up to vendors, just because 2 weeks passed by because you got elderly there. So we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna be all right.
Michael, you might be interested in joining. You might be interested in seeing Paul's show, which comes on at 9 p.m. my time. And
I believe he was on your show, and you had a link to his at one point.
Yeah, but
is it Antonelli or something like that? Or?
Yeah, and we've all been talking about with his audience, his crowd is a lot of online resellers, and they talk about sourcing and selling techniques and this and that, changes discovered. And I do very little online. Today I'm doing a little more, and so I'm always keep my ears open so I can learn the different things. But
yeah,
do you have an online presence, Michael?
Well, I'm actually the odd thing about it is, and it might be the perfect time for this. I've been actually downsizing from the small business and devoting all of my time to my multimedia business. Or let me put it this way: instead of the small business being more of a major portion of my income, it's going to be more like a secondary, like just bringing in passive. I want to turn that into passive and then bring, the multimedia thing back up a little bit more and make it a lot more lucrative. So I'm literally not retiring from it, but I'm retiring from going out and doing anything in the field. I'm trying to get more and more of my customers to just do call-ins. And that's actually been working over the couple of years that I've been doing it. I've been slowly now getting more call-ins when every once in a while, I can sit here, get enough call-ins, make out the orders, deliver them, make as much money in 2 hours than I would if I sat somewhere with my table and my displays for a whole day.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah.
So if I can get that happening more often, then that's what I'm doing. I want to shift it into being supplemental because.
And I've dedicated one bin here these items are listed on eBay. These items are on eBay. One thing, it helps me keep organized and it helps me corral things. And also when with customers coming in. James Byers, I think I see curtains. I think I see window. I would love to see your view of London.
Yeah, I wonder what he does see. Because right now it looks like he's looking out into heaven.
Do you see the Queen?
Yes.
Do you see her river?
Look, funny enough, I've got my Bible right here, so I'm near enough.
See, there you go. He's got the light on him.
Do you
see
the London Bell or bridge?
No,
what are you looking at? What are you looking at, James?
You see
Well, see, while it's so bright out there, you won't see anything, so it'll just reflect. But when it's not so bright, I'll show you the views of my little part
I
of.
bet you that's awesome.
Yeah, but in terms of what's going on and stuff, I'm sort of classed as at risk. So
That's true.
I'm essentially staying in as much as possible, but still got to get shopping and stuff like that. And just so you don't go mad, when it's quiet, I'm sort of going, because as much as I love YouTube and Spotify, there's only so much.
Oh yeah.
I have something else to do.
Yep.
And I think cabin fever is set in with a lot of people, and I think there's going to be more people out and about this weekend exploring. And
Well, you don't have to get that close to people to go take a walk.
No.
Just getting fresh air and moving around outside where you can, it will make an amazing difference, because then you get rid of those claustrophobic, meanderings in your mind and body.
Yeah.
And I just want to remind everybody, James Wires, which I have the names turned off, he's in London, dearest London, and Michael Ellis in Detroit, Rock City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm in Raleigh. So there we go. I'm also broadcasting on Facebook. And crazy thing, folks, I went back to look at the Facebook stream from last night from yesterday.
Okay.
And it said I had 1.6K views.
Wow.
And I'm like, how can that be?
Well,
And so,
as you start growing in subscriptions, eventually you just, because they say you could get to a point where all of a sudden, boom, you start growing exponentially, like really fast.
right.
And it could just be a matter of you. The more you connect, the more they connect you to other people that and so on.
Yeah. I'm not sure how Facebook calculates those numbers.
Right.
I don't know if it's because it's on a page and it just happened to show up, even though nobody clicked on the video. I have no idea.
Are you finding new people just popping up, a little bit more regularly? Like, hey, wow, I saw you guys. I've decided, I saw your channel. I wanted to get.
Yeah, maybe so. And also visiting other YouTube live and contributing in the chat. People are like, well, who's this? It's our record creator. Oh, we are. But also my contest I had gave me 100 subs pretty quick.
Wow.
And I'm this close to 400 now.
Yay.
I'm going to do a 400 celebration and contest. And
celebrate good times. We'll all be there for that, man.
come on. It's going to be 400, so I wish I could give away a $400 gift card, but I can't. I'm going to put 400 something. I'll have to calculate quarters.
Oh, hey, you don't have to go that bold. You can do 100. Hey, listen, I'll take a $10 gift card.
Right now, 100 would be really bold, especially since the store, the walk-in store, I'm 85% down in sales. In Raleigh, I had a $12 sale yesterday.
Well, I've already braced not to see, at least for my small business, not to see any income for 2 months. I just prepare myself, no income from there from 2 months.
Yeah. And now people are saying don't order from Amazon because they're getting just completely manic.
I'm hoping just because Amazon, I don't even like to say the name. I don't want to give them any glory at all. They have a lot more money than I do and do their own marketing and advertising. But with the big A, I understand that they're not accepting records from the labels. Labels would send them records. They have an account. They have an agreement, and Amazon, the big A would list the records for sale, and people would buy on them. It's not uncommon for someone to come in and say, "Oh, he's got the new record. Oh, it's cheaper there. Order," and then they walk out the store. Thanks. See you later. Sometimes the big A has the same record I have for less money, or 10 cents more than what I actually pay for it on the wholesale level. So, but at the same time, you don't walk in and see all this cool stuff on Amazon. You don't cool music. It's hard not to say that word. I'm trying hard not to. But anyway, I'm hoping that because of me listening to all these records on eBay, that's going to be a big plus for me because if people.
Oh, absolutely. Are you just starting doing that on eBay this year?
I've kept a few on eBay all along, you know, like that.
But you're doing it more readily now?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Might as well take advantage of all
I'm
that.
working really hard to get it more and more listed just for that. For one reason, me need to have income, and also the Big A, if they're not having as many things there. And I know that if you were a reseller and you're like, I'm gonna take all this cool stuff that I bought and I'm gonna send it to the Big A, they're gonna put it on their website, and then if it sells, they'll ship it out. So the Big A is not accepting that type of resellers merchandise anymore. Only essential items is the Big A accepting. So it's a changing world, and that's why I was asking you, Michael, about online presence, e-commerce, and things like that.
Well, I mean, I do have an online presence when it comes to my I mean, I have a totally put together website for my DJ services and my my music production services. I got full websites already. I've got, you know, all set up where you can go and purchase music and everything like that.
Sure.
So my infrastructure is solid and been there for a while. But right now I just need to reestablish putting content in.
And for me, I've had a solid, grounded social networking presence, which brings people into the shop with a focus on walking in the brick and mortar. And occasionally somebody say, "Oh, I live over here." Yes, I'll be glad to ship it, but I haven't had the e-commerce set into place, which I'm working on.
Oh, you mean just simply things like where they can pay through PayPal and things like that?
Click and buy. I have PayPal.
Oh, yeah. I have that hooked up on my website now. You just click on it and it'll take you directly to where you can just pay for it.
But you can't go to the record crate and there's 5,000 records to buy. I don't have that set up.
Yeah, and that, you know something, that does take some time.
I only have just a few things on it. It's getting close to 9, but I did want to share this. You guys are talent. And around here, one of the talent buyers has a venue across the street from Record Crate Raleigh. There's tons of bands that come here all the time and musicians. And it's getting more and more popular now that people are doing online shows. You can stream this concert and just like that. And I'm even hearing people talking about doing guerrilla shows with like they might and then they set up and there's a show and then you know it might be more than 10 people, but it's not an established brick and mortar venue. And so that's cool. Hopefully more things like playing in the subway entrance and on the street corner will become more and more popular.
Yeah.
So I encourage you guys, I'm doing my DJ set at 11 o'clock, tune in, YouTube.
Well, I've already done that. I've already done that many times on Facebook. I've done live DJ sets already on that.
Oh, absolutely.
And basically that's another thing that I'm going to bring back. Like I said, it's just 4 or 5 big things that I have to work on all together to make all of this happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Paul, going live in 2 minutes. Any final words before we take off?
Yeah, it's just good seeing you again. You know, everybody take care, you know, wash your hands, as they say, and have fun while you're inside. Get things done. Perfect time.
If you've got a couple of good books to read, as I have, you know, spend a couple of hours.
There you go.
This is a big sci-fi novel, so I'm going to be quite happy in another world.
Yeah. Wash your hands, like Michael said.
I will do.
I'm an older person. You could drop off something at the door, ring the doorbell, and leave, and they can receive something. A lot of seniors are scared because they're told, and so you know, think about that. And
also, Adam, real quickly, let a lot of seniors know that more and more stores, like grocery stores, are allowing the seniors to come in an hour before the store opens to the rest of the public. So check around in your neighborhood or your area, because they're doing that at Whole Foods here in the city and other supermarkets.
Not only seniors, but people that
are more exactly.
Yeah. So you know, more susceptible.
Chaps, it's been real. Michael, I hope to see you again soon. I have missed you.
Absolutely, my friend. Good to see you again.
We'll meet again soon, guys. And in the meantime, Rock
Take
and
care,
roll.
guys.
Rock and roll.
Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Wash your hands and stay positive, and all things will pass. Goodbye, James. Look forward to seeing that view.